Hi, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About This. Today, we're going to be talking about a very important topic. Well, all our topics are important because the platform is based on mental health and wellness. And today, we're going to be talking about high blood pressure. I have my guest is Dr. Demetrice Nordelus. She has a doctorate degree in nutrition from Maryland University, and she's a registered licensed dietitian. So, Dr. Demetrice, welcome to the podcast. You was already here before, so we brought you back again, and it's good to have you back. How you
Thank
doing
you.
today?
All is well. We have some good things in store for the community, and we
Right.
want them healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're talking about high blood pressure.
Yes, yes, and this is a good topic to talk about because especially in our community, in the African American community, a lot of us are walking around, and we all have been, not all of us, but a lot of us have been diagnosed with high blood pressure. I'm one of them. I take high blood pressure medication, and I thought I was a pretty healthy person, to be honest with you. When I went to my doctor and I asked her, I was like, how did I get high blood pressure? And she said, well, probably because I was, like I said in the last episode, I think it was one or two other episodes I had, I was telling people that I was a salty person. Like I put salt on almost everything, fruit, everything. I was putting salt on there. And the fact that I was eating out a lot, and fast food has salt in it. So you putting salt, I was putting salt on top of this, salt on top of fast food. So I asked my doctor, I said, so when I don't want to be on this medication for the rest of my life, what do I need to do? She told me I needed to lose weight. So I've been in the gym 3 days a week, and working on dropping the extra weight because I had put on some pounds from because of an injury that I had. So I couldn't move around, so that's why I had put on the extra weight. So now I'm trying to drop this extra weight now that I'm able to move a lot better. But tell us the risk factors of high blood pressure, and the side effects that it can have on a person.
Yes, yes. Thank you for your testimony. High blood pressure matters. Keeping high
Yeah.
blood pressure in check. About 1 in 3 adults in the US has high blood pressure, but many don't realize it, Crystal. High blood
Mm-hmm.
pressure is sometimes called a silent killer because it usually has no warning signs.
Mm-hmm.
It can lead to life-threatening conditions like heart attack or stroke. It can kill the kidneys, dialysis. The good news is that high blood pressure, or in medical terms, hypertension, can often be prevented or treated.
Mm-hmm.
Early diagnosis and simply healthy lifestyle changes can help high blood pressure from seriously damaging your organs and health. Now, normal blood flow delivers nutrients and oxygen to all parts of your body,
Mm-hmm.
including organs like your heart, brain, and kidneys. Your beating heart helps to push blood through your vast network of blood vessels, both large and small. Your
Mm-hmm.
blood vessels in turn consistently adjust. They become narrower or wider to maintain your blood pressure and keep the blood flowing at a healthy rate. And it's normal for your blood pressure to go up and down throughout the day. Blood pressure is affected by the time of day, exercise, the food you eat, stress, if you're not getting enough sleep, and other factors.
Mm-hmm.
Problems can come though if your blood pressure stay high too long. We never want that. High blood
Mm-hmm.
pressure can make your heart work too hard and lose strength. We don't want that either. The
Mm-hmm.
high force of blood flow can damage your blood vessels, making them weak, stiff, or narrower. Over
Mm-hmm.
time, hypertension can harm several important organs, like we said before, your heart, kidneys, brains, and your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Hypertension is a leading risk factor for death and disability worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it doesn't only affect Black people, it affects Asians, Indians, white, Black, everybody, and lottie dottie. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And again, high blood pressure raises the risk of having a heart attack, heart failure, stroke, or kidney disease. Okay, anyone, even children, can develop high blood pressure. But the
Children.
risk, the risk for high blood pressure rises with age. Once people are in their 60s, about 2/3 of the population is affected by high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Excess weight or having a family history of high blood pressure also raises your risk for high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
African Americans are especially likely to get high blood pressure or hypertension. Compared to whites or Hispanic Americans, African Americans tend to develop hypertension at a younger age and to have high blood pressure on average, a higher high blood pressure reading.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is usually has no symptoms, the only way to know for sure is that your blood pressure be checked with a blood pressure test. And this
Mm-hmm.
is easy. You can go to Walgreens, you can get it tested with a machine, you can go to your primary doctor, make a request for your blood pressure to be checked and trended. You can record your numbers over the course of a week, 2 weeks. It's easy, it's painless, and guess what? It will save your life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your doctor can help you read it if you want to do it the old-fashioned way with a stethoscope and read your pulse, but they have manual ones that you could use, you could take home. And like I said, blood pressure is given two numbers, and the most important thing, we need to know what those two numbers represent. The
Mm-hmm.
first number represents the pressure in your blood vessels as the
Okay.
heart is beating. Okay, that's
Now
the systolic pressure.
I
I
got a
just want
quick
to make mention.
I got a quick question. Is that the top number?
The
Okay.
top number, the first number, the top number, it represents the pressure in your blood vessels as the
Mm-hmm.
heart beats. Okay, that's what we call systolic pressure. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
bottom number or the second number is the pressure as your heart relaxes and fills with blood. That's the diastolic pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So we agree that, we want your range to be between 120/80 or lower.
Mm-hmm.
That means the top number, systolic blood pressure, is 120 or less, and the diastolic pressure, or the bottom number, is 80 or less.
Mm-hmm.
Hypertension is defined as having an average pressure of above 140/90, and that is coming from the National Institute of Health, NIH. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so since blood pressure can change or vary widely from day to day, a diagnosis of hypertension is usually based on an average of two or more readings taken on two or more occasions. So we're not playing with hypertension. We're not playing with diagnosing people. If you
Mm-hmm.
have an average of two or more readings taken on two or more occasions of 140/90, we're
Mm-hmm.
getting you some help. We're not going to let you go through life 140/90, 150/95. We're not doing that. If your blood pressure falls between normal and hypertension, it's sometimes called prehypertension. And those
Mm-hmm.
people are more likely to end up with high blood pressure if they don't take steps to prevent it. And we know we can prevent high blood pressure through
Mm-hmm.
diet, through weight loss, exercise, physical activity. Some people use meditation. Some people go on vacation. Some people
Mm-hmm.
exercise, run to get the sweating going. If you're diagnosed with blood pressure, you need to speak with your doctor. You need to definitely follow your dietitian's recommendations, because we definitely want to make sure you understand the numbers. Now, we spoke about optimal, top
Mm-hmm.
number or less than 120, bottom number less than 80, but normal can be 120 to 129 top number and 80 to 84 bottom number. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we gave you optimal, we gave you normal, but high normal, top number 130 to 139, bottom number 85 to 89. And we're
Mm-hmm.
here at the high level, greater than 140 top number and greater than 90 bottom number. And we want to make sure that we understand those numbers. If you don't understand nothing else, remember, top number 140, bottom number 90, we gotta do something. If you get
Mm-hmm.
readings like that two separate times on two separate occasions, we gotta do something. And like I said, we have the different stages. Hypertension stage 1 is when your blood pressure consistently range from 130 to 139 top number and 80 to 89 bottom number.
Mm-hmm.
Doctors will classify or diagnose you with stage 1 hypertension. And at this stage of high blood pressure, your healthcare practitioners may likely say, you know what, you just need to change your lifestyle habits. So maybe going out every weekend is not recommended. Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe before we give you some medication, how about you change your eating habits? However, we don't want you at risk for atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. We don't want you to be at risk for heart attack or stroke, especially if you have a family history, especially if you have cultural practices that you're not going to change. the doctor may get aggressive and put you on medication. But hypertension stage 2 is when blood pressure consistently is 140 top number, over 90 bottom number, or higher. At this stage of high blood pressure, definitely the doctor is going to consider a combination of blood pressure, medication, and lifestyle changes. But hypertensive crisis, the stage of blood pressure requires medical attention. And if your blood pressure reading suddenly exceeds 180 over 120, wait 5 minutes and then test it again. And if it's still high, we want to definitely get intervention, and we definitely want to see what's causing that number to be that high. What were you going to ask me?
I wanted to ask you what causes, for those who don't know out there who's listening, what causes high blood pressure? Is it the food that we eat? What is it that, what causes it for people to go into having hypertension?
It could be many causes. Sometimes we just kind of been there, done that with our family. Sometimes we gotta go by, I guess, what we've been exposed to at home before we could take some type of ownership that, maybe personally I'm doing something I ain't supposed to be doing. And we don't want, we never want people to just take high blood pressure lightly. We never want the assumption that, oh, well, we that's just in the family. High blood pressure is sometimes caused by some of the bad habits that we practice. Some of the bad practices that we think is normal. Some of the things that we think is okay. If you're overweight, I know in our culture, being overweight, we call it plus size or other titles and topics, but that also puts more density on the blood vessels and make them work harder. And of course, it's overweight, and then obesity is the same thing.
Right.
Eating too much salt, some people use the salted ham hocks, bacon, pork, they love their pig.
Right.
They, seasonings, Lorry's, accent, garlic salt, celery salt, iodized salt, all that salt. It's salt in the barbecue sauce, it's salt in the ketchup, it's salt in this sauce and that dressing and this dressing. I like 4 dressings on my salad. Well, it's not a salad no more. Might as well eat regular food.
That's true.
Not exercising, not sweating, getting that salt out your body. Too much alcohol or coffee, okay, or caffeinated drinks. That could also elevate smokers, okay, stress, age over 65, having a relative with high blood pressure, having a background of Black, Caribbean, or African descent, just living in underserved food deserts that don't have fruits and vegetables. All those definitely can put you at risk for having high blood pressure. And if you a city slicker, you may be just, living in the city, just trying to keep up, with life, and maybe working 2 and 3 shifts and not able to rest. That sleep resets our body. So if we're not able to get in the bed at least 8 hours, we're gonna pay a price for working and not having no balance, not drinking the fluids we need, not eating the fiber we need to keep our weight down, not keeping the stress we need out of our lives and our bodies, because your body holds stress too. You can cause all kind of ulcers in your stomach, and your body holds stress too. Like I said, eating fried food and using the lard, using the vegetable oil, canola oil, frying this, frying that, or purchasing fried food that increases the plaque in your arteries, that decreases the blood flow throughout the vessels, and also not eating enough fiber to connect or bind with that fat and excrete through the bowel movement. Some people eat greens only in Thanksgiving, but collard greens can be used as a substitution for bread. You could put your grilled chicken and your salmon and roll it as a wrap. You don't have to wait to November to eat greens, or you don't have to wait to the first year, the day of the new year, to eat pigeon peas. That can be done regularly. That helps your body regulate what goes in, comes out. We want that. And at the end of the day, we have practices in our culture that is not beneficial. We do. We have habits we've developed because maybe we have a little bit more money to spend, some discretionary money that, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead I'm gonna have me a blooming onion with my glass of red wine. Well, if you
Mm-hmm.
count the cost, the blooming onions deep fried. The red wine, it's gonna break down to sugar after the liver gets done with it. You know, they probably put some seasoning in the blooming onion sauce. And you know what? I'm coming back next week. So
Mm-hmm.
where's your salad and where's your fresh fruit? You know, the recommendations is, you know, a healthy serving of fruit a day. And
Mm-hmm.
we're not even eating fruit for the week,
That's
you
true.
know?
That is so
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us eat we eat fast food a lot. Like you said, we're eating more poorly than we are eating, which is good for us, more nutritional stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
could vouch for that for myself because I had to change my eating habits because I was eating out more than I was cooking at home,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you feel like, the kids ain't home no more. They done moved out, they in their own place. You ain't got to cook as much anymore. So you feel like, I know for me, I got to the point where, shoot, I don't have to cook today. I'm going to go out to eat. But now I'm very choicey of the things that I eat now. Like if
Mm-hmm.
I do go out, I'll have a grilled some fish and some vegetables rather,
Mm-hmm.
rather than eating all the, I'm just putting more greens in my body now.
Very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
but
I like that.
and on top of that, I'm working on losing the extra weight that I put on. So, but the problem, I think a lot of the problem is too is we don't think about how important it is to be healthy. Like you said, we're so busy working two and three jobs, or people are working two or three jobs, always on the go. We hustling, doing this and that, and not really taking care of ourselves. But in order to take care of ourselves, we need to be going to the doctors regularly and getting our regular checkups so we can stay on top of these things.
I agree with you. You know, one thing we have to one thing we're familiar with is the dialysis, and we know people that will drink Coke, they will drink wine, alcohol, liquor, everything but water. And we
Mm-hmm.
know the only thing that flushes the kidneys is water.
Yeah.
Some people, have the idea cranberry juice is helpful. It is, but it never replaces water.
Mm-hmm.
And, some of the problems that we do see with poorly controlled blood pressure
Mm-hmm.
is heartening. High blood pressure can damage your health in so many ways. It
Mm-hmm.
can seriously hurt important organs like the kidneys and eyes, hearts and brain. And we know that heart attack and heart disease is one of the diseases that is prevalent with those who have uncontrolled high blood pressure. And
Mm-hmm.
we know that it could damage your arteries by making them less elastic, less flexible. And
Mm-hmm.
that decreases the blood flow and oxygen to your heart and leads to heart disease. In addition to that, it decreases the blood flow to your heart, which can cause chest pain. We call that
Mm-hmm.
angina. Heart
Right.
attack, which happens when the blood flow supply to your heart is blocked and
Mm-hmm.
your heart muscle begins to die without enough oxygen. The longer
Right.
the blood flow is blocked, the greater the damage is to the heart. And we know
Mm-hmm.
heart failure, which is a condition that means your heart can't pump enough blood and oxygen to your organs.
Mm-hmm.
We know if your blood pressure continues to get out of control, there's a risk for stroke and brain problems. So we know
Mm-hmm.
high blood pressure can cause the arteries that supply blood and oxygen to the brain to burst or be
Mm-hmm.
blocked, which causes a
Mm-hmm.
stroke. Okay. And we know that brain cells die during a stroke because they do not get enough oxygen. Stroke can cause serious disabilities in your speech and basic movements, or it can kill you. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
having high blood pressure, especially in your midlife, is
Mm-hmm.
linked to having poor cognitive function and dementia later in life. So they're
Mm-hmm.
making all these strides in research to say, hey, get the pressure under control because it's like roots. It's connected to a lot more things than we
Mm-hmm.
thought.
Right. Right.
And kidney disease. Let's not forget adults with diabetes and high blood pressure have a higher risk of developing chronic kidney disease.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that, if the blood pressure continues to fluctuate, long as you're trying to get it under control and keep it under control. So if you have to get on medication, then the lifestyle factors is really the point. Then you know what? If you traveling 2 hours and that's stressing you, you may have to relocate and get a new job that's 30 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
If you are getting home and getting up at 6 in the morning to midnight and you're only getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep,
Mm-hmm.
we need you to get at least 8. If
Right.
you are running and only had half a cup of water for the whole day, we need you to be hydrating throughout the day. If
Mm-hmm.
you are going to the grocery store, picking up every processed food you can imagine because that's your comfort food, but you haven't stayed a little bit longer in the fruit and vegetable section, we need you to park and stay in the fruit and vegetable section and get what you like. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
get all of it, but if you
Mm-hmm.
like butternut squash, we can work that Monday and Tuesday. We can work cabbage Wednesday and Thursday. We can work a little kale Thursday and Friday, and we can work a little green beans Friday and Saturday. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
get all of it, but you need to get those foods that are high in antioxidants, phytochemicals that are going to be high in fiber, that's going to help your pressure stay low, keep your body with rich in nutrients, rich in vitamins, rich in what you need, as opposed to carbs, gluten, white rice, white flour, white sugar, white pasta, high fructose corn syrup, soda here, soda there, caffeine drink here, caffeine coffee there, sweets there, sweets here. That's useless, no nutrient, and your body's like, where are my vitamins and minerals today?
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Right. Yeah.
Times
Yeah.
20 years, because we know no disease happens overnight. And then
Mm-hmm.
now we're here in the doctor's office, neglect for 20 years saying, fix me with a pill. And we need
Mm-hmm.
to be mindful. It is a holistic intervention. One pill cannot undo 20, 30 years of bad habits.
That's true. And we got to take accountability for ourselves too, because, we haven't been taught to eat correctly, especially if you were coming from a home where people always cooked all these uh soul food and, fried fish and all this kind of stuff. If you grew up on that, that's a habit that could be passed down to the next generation. So it's really important for us to start being more accountable for ourselves. We have to, because high blood pressure, it's a combination of things that could cause it. I always think about it that way. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you're in a stressful relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta do what's best for you and stop
Mm-hmm.
doing what's best for everybody else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
uh
Agreed.
if you're in a stressful relationship, you shouldn't be in that relationship. If somebody can't pour into you and they're draining you and taking from you, that could cause stress and that could cause high blood pressure. And if we're not eating correctly, like you said, that could cause high blood pressure. So it's like we need to start being accountable for taking care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Self-care is more important than pleasing somebody else. We have to
Oh,
really
wow, that's
be,
powerful. Health
yeah,
is
we
wealth.
yeah,
That's
we really have
powerful.
to take care, because that's the way I look at it. It's like, especially as Black women, we're so busy. We spend a lot of our time taking care of everybody else. Sometimes we forget about ourselves. And forgetting about ourselves can be
Good
not
point.
going to the doctors regularly, not eating properly, being in a stressful relationship, being at a stressful job. It could be a whole combination of different things that could cause high blood pressure. So we have to make sure that if something is not making you feel right, you need to get it out of your life altogether. That's what I did.
Agreed.
I cut everything
Agreed.
out of my life. Anything that was, draining me mentally, I cut it all out of my life. And what I started doing is start doing what was best for me.
Powerful.
I started changing the foods I ate. I started going to the gym. Uh, I don't want no negative energy around me. I'm at a point where I'm trying to live a holistic, healthy lifestyle. Because I think we can live a long time if we really take care of ourselves, but we don't take care of ourselves. You know?
That's a good point you made, Crystal, because the foods we do eat,
Mm-hmm.
very pretty much they do matter. When you think about trying to lower your blood pressure, we usually think about limiting salt and processed foods. But
Mm-hmm.
a heart healthy diet is more than just lowering your sodium intake. We
Mm-hmm.
normally recommend the DASH diet, which is dietary approaches to stopping hypertension This diet specifically designed to help manage blood pressure, emphasize eating many fruits, vegetables, low-fat dairy, and other high-fiber rich foods. We definitely encourage incorporating many of these foods that lower blood pressure into your diet, and they can be a great way to facilitate a healthier lifestyle. And guess what? There are even foods that lower blood pressure quickly, so you can get started on your journey to better health, like today. Like the
Right.
DASH diet is a heart-healthy diet that's rich in calcium, magnesium,
Right.
potassium,
Mm-hmm.
protein, fiber,
Right.
and we can go on and on. And this diet is ideal because it is crucial in the foods to help manage your blood pressure. And it
Mm-hmm.
also helps you to eat the balanced, nutritious food from the fruits and vegetables section, as many people neglect. We
Mm-hmm.
understand that people, make up their own little diets,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no mystery about it. There's just certain
Mm-hmm.
things that we don't waver. We don't
Mm-hmm.
waver when it comes to foods that help regulate or help manage blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's very clear that these are some of the foods that need to be a part of our diet, such as citrus foods. Citrus
Mm-hmm.
foods may help lower blood pressure. They are loaded with vitamins, minerals, plant compounds. They could help your heart be healthier by reducing the risk for heart disease.
Mm-hmm.
Citrus fruits like what? I'm glad you asked. Lemon,
Mm-hmm.
oranges, limes,
Mm-hmm.
grapefruits, strawberries,
Now,
blueberries.
now let me ask you about the grapefruit because
Uh-huh.
somebody told me, I don't know how true this is, because I love grapefruits.
Uh-huh.
Now, somebody said that grapefruit wasn't good for you when it comes if you have been diagnosed with high blood pressure. Is that true? As far as
It
grapefruit?
enhances, the absorption of a medication. We don't want any nutrient interactions.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you've been counseled to not take the grapefruit, you can use oranges. You could
Okay.
do lemons. You could do
Mm-hmm.
limes. There are other citrus foods that we want you to get in your body because
Mm-hmm.
it does help with the overall idea of um, helping with your blood pressure management. A
Mm-hmm.
2021 study revealed that the last 10 years of information of fruit and management of high blood pressure
Mm-hmm.
showed that eating 530 to 600 grams of fruit per day was
Mm-hmm.
beneficial for lowering your blood pressure or managing your blood pressure. And
Mm-hmm.
researchers have linked citrus fruits in particular of lowering the possibility of high blood pressure. They're
Mm-hmm.
saying 600 grams of fruit. That's nothing. You
Mm-hmm.
can get two oranges with your breakfast, a banana at lunch, maybe grapes at snack, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe you could do a bowl of strawberries at dinner. 600 grams is so doable, even on a
Mm-hmm.
shoestring budget.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we understand oranges are good, they're citrus, and we
Mm-hmm.
understand other citrus related fruits have just as much um, impact,
Right.
as oranges, bananas, salmon, and other fatty fish.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
fatty fatty fish is an excellent source of omega-3 fatty acids,
Mm-hmm.
which is significant for heart benefits. These
Mm-hmm.
fats may reduce blood pressure by levels by lowering inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
And in a 2022 study, they looked at 71 studies of health information of 4,973 people determined to improve their relationship of omega-3 fatty acids. And
Mm-hmm.
they found out that consumption of 2 to 3 grams of omega fatty acids was just as good, or 3.5 ounces of salmon was just as good to help lower your blood pressure. So if
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to take, some of us grew up on cod liver oil. That's
Mm-hmm.
fine. 2 teaspoons of that and keep it moving. Or if
Mm-hmm.
you're able to afford salmon, get you a 3.5 ounce of salmon and consume that. That's the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that your heart and your vessels need.
Or
Okay.
you could get some of this what I have right here, this omega-3. I got the
There
high
you go.
potency. I got the high
The
po-
high potency.
the
There
high
you go.
potency omega-3. I
There you
just thought
go.
I just started taking this,
Okay. And
so
then the
I was
next
like,
thing we want to consider, you mentioned, Crystal, you starting to incorporate dark green leafy. And the key three buzzwords is dark, green,
yeah,
and leafy. So,
yeah,
a lot of people may say, what about iceberg lettuce? Well, we may want to do more of a romaine, more of
mm-hmm.
a kale, or of a collard
or
type of
spinach,
hue.
yeah,
Or spinach. And
yeah,
so we Swiss chard is fine. Spinach are two good examples. Kale is great. They're all helpers in lowering your blood pressure.
mm-hmm.
Like I said, these leafy greens are a source of nutrients such as potassium and
Mm-hmm.
magnesium, which is needed to support optimum blood pressure
Mm-hmm.
levels. Okay, so
Right,
for example, 1 cup of cooked Swiss chard can deliver 20 to 36% of your daily potassium and magnesium needs. So if you are a
Mm-hmm.
salad lover, throw in some Swiss chard, mix that with a little kale, mix that
Mm-hmm.
with a little chopped up collards. You're
Right.
gonna meet your daily dark green leafy needs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
just again to tell you, because I like to back things up with research. A
Mm-hmm.
study done in 2022 stated with some females that who had high blood sodium levels in their diet, 1 gram of daily potassium in their diet was linked to 2.4 milligrams of lowering in their blood pressure, systolic
Mm-hmm.
levels. So we're not giving this any light. We're giving attention to it. Get in
Mm-hmm.
your dark green leafy vegetables. Get in your dark green leafy vegetables. Get them
Mm-hmm.
in. Get them in. Get them in. Like I said, if you don't like collards, switch over to Swiss chard. Then you could do a little cabbage. You could do a little romaine lettuce. You could do a
Right.
little kale. You could rotate that, but get it in. A lot of people don't do dark green leafy vegetables.
I know.
And you know, we're not waiting to Thanksgiving to eat collard greens. We're not doing that.
I know that's
Um,
right.
it's
Yeah.
it's at all the supermarkets. It's already individually vacuum packed. You know, rinse it off. If you want to lightly cook it, it's 2 course, fine. And
Mm-hmm.
throw in your chickpeas, throw in your mushrooms, throw in your salmon, throw
Mm-hmm.
in your tomatoes, throw in a little grapes if you want to. Get the squeeze of a lemon. Get your balsamic vinaigrette, freshly made, with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If you're satisfied, fine. If you want to add more colors to it and
Mm-hmm.
get your vegetables and fruit in at the same time with the little lean protein,
You
you
make
can
me
do
want to
that.
make this. You make me want to make that salad right now. The way you put that salad together, I'm like, shoot, I need to make that right now. That sounds good. With some collards and greens and some salmon and all that stuff in there.
And Crystal, let's not forget the nuts and seeds.
Oh, the
Let's
nuts
talk
and seeds
about
is
it. Let,
important. Yeah.
yes, let's talk about the nuts and seeds being a beneficial effect on blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Examples of nuts and seeds to eat as part of your balanced diet can include pumpkin seeds,
Mm-hmm.
flaxseed, chia seed, pistachios, walnuts,
Mm-hmm.
almonds. I know nuts could be a little costly. Get the
Right.
big consumption bag, and you
Right.
know what? Get a handful, chop it up small, and just throw it in your salad.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
The
Because we
good thing
can.
about Yes, the good thing about many nuts and seeds is that they are concentrated in nutrients. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and it's necessary. Those nutrients are important for blood pressure control. They also
Mm-hmm.
have fiber and arginine. One thing I want to make mention, arginine is an amino acid needed to produce nitric oxide, an
Mm-hmm.
essential component for blood vessel relaxation and blood pressure reduction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we do want to incorporate legumes. They are rich in nutrients that contain magnesium and potassium and help regulate the blood pressure. So
Mm-hmm.
we want lentils, we want beans, we want peas, and the government is doing a lot of research on it. 16 clinical trials have suggested that eating legumes may not have a relationship with blood pressure, but
Mm-hmm.
then we know it has fiber, so you
Yeah.
can't lose.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
true.
you
That's
can't
true.
lose.
And
And
another thing we need to do is stop eating out them corner stores because if you go in every hood in every city in this country, there's corner stores and there's liquor stores. But if you go into the suburbs, you don't
mm-hmm,
see no corner stores. I live in the suburbs, and there's no
mm-hmm.
corner stores around here. There's no
Okay.
liquor, they're not even no liquor stores around here.
Okay.
They have beer stores. They have beer stores, but there's no corner stores, you know, in this area. But
Mm-hmm.
that's why we have to be careful of the foods we put into our bodies because, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we become accustomed to eating bad all our lives to we don't even know how it feels to eat good, but it makes your body feel. I noticed that lately since I've changed my eating habit,
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel bloated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel, I don't feel heavy, because
Mm-hmm.
I've been eating a lot of salad, a lot of
Okay.
chicken grilled because I love chicken. But now I get a grilled chicken Caesar salad, or I
Mm-hmm.
might have a salmon or now I do like my steak, but if I have steak, I'll usually have some kind of green vegetable with it, like some broccoli or something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's another thing. We just have to be careful of the things we put in our body. And we just got to start taking care of ourselves. We got to
I
stop.
agree with you.
Yeah,
I
we
agree
just
with
got to
you.
stop. We got to take care of ourselves all the way around when it comes down to relationships.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes down to your job, because your job could
Mm-hmm.
stress you out. Your job could cause you to have high blood pressure too.
Mm-hmm.
If you're working under stressful conditions, and I've been there,
Mm-hmm.
where I've been worked under, how it is when you work in a place where, you know, they always on your back if you ain't doing a job, or they feel like you're not doing a job correctly. So
Mm-hmm.
your job can be a stressful environment. So I think it's a combination of everything. What we eat, uh what we surround ourselves with,
Mm-hmm.
relationships, all,
Holistic.
yeah, it's like a holistic thing when it comes down to high blood pressure. So,
High blood pressure is something that can be controlled.
mm,
It's not uncommon when you get older of due to age that
mhm,
you will be at higher risk. But in this country, we do have sometimes one, two, three, even four
mhm,
medications regulating blood pressure. But at the
mhm,
same breath, perhaps that individual still wants to smoke. Perhaps that
mhm,
individual don't want to exercise. Perhaps that
mhm,
individual just don't want to give up their fried chicken every Friday. And
mhm,
those four medications will help, but we
mhm,
do want to emphasize the responsibility that we have to our bodies. We
mhm,
definitely want to incorporate the berries, the raspberries.
mhm,
Pick one. You don't have to get all the berries. Pick one,
mhm,
work it. The healthy grains we're
mhm,
saying you can have grains, but maybe wild rice, maybe
mhm,
brown rice, whole grain bread, Ezekiel
mhm,
bread. We're not saying not to eat bread, but we want you to eat your money's worth. Get the
mhm.
nutrients. Get
Yeah.
that olive oil. Get that avocado oil. Get
Mhm,
those carrots and those eggs.
mhm,
Tomatoes and broccoli and yogurt and definitely herbs and spices. When
mhm.
we're seasoning our food, it don't have to be loaded with salt. We can
Right.
use thyme, we can use cilantro, we can use parsley, we can use cumin, turmeric, saffron, lemongrass,
Mhm.
natural black pepper. Oh, I love garlic. Like I,
I
I'll
love
be chopping
garlic too.
three, four bulbs, not cloves, bulbs of garlic in my food.
Yeah.
Oregano, red pepper, cinnamon, cardamom,
Right.
basil, ginger, when you're doing the potatoes, keep the skin on the potatoes. A lot of
Mm,
people make their mashed potatoes skin off. The nutrients is in the skin. You
mm,
can rotate your carb source. Maybe you want to do yuca one day. Next thing you want
mm,
to do maybe sweet potato another day. Now third
mhm,
day you may want to do baked potato, and you may
mhm.
not need to even eat all that rice.
That's
You
true.
know.
And
Mm-hmm.
that white rice, you got to be careful of that because that white rice turns to carbs. I don't even eat white rice no more. I can't even remember the last time I had white rice. If I do have rice, it's usually a brown rice, but I don't even eat brown rice that often. I just
The
stopped.
rice is a carb.
I just started cutting a lot of things out of my diet. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
started cutting a lot of things in my out of my diet and started paying more attention
Mm-hmm.
to my health, you know,
Right. That's important. That's
because
a good
we can
observation.
live a long life if we take care of ourselves.
Well, the thing is, rice in itself is a carbohydrate source. It does yield sugar in the blood. And
Mhm,
the problem is, it doesn't have fiber, so you tend to eat more than you need. It just
mhm,
doesn't have as many nutrients as you need it to have. Not only
right,
that, but what do you do with all that carb you just eaten? You sit in front of the TV and turn your TV on? Like,
right,
you just consumed all this fuel, like a car. You got all this gas and fuel. You gonna
mhm.
burn it, or you just gonna turn the TV on
That's
and
true.
let it sit, and then say in 3 hours I'm hungry again? Like, it
Mhm,
takes about 6 hours for the food to digest. So why are you eating again? So
mhm,
that's why we suggest, the whole grains, the whole grain breads, the fresh fruit over the juice,
mhm,
vegetables preferably fresh over frozen and canned,
mhm,
lean meats. You can have lean meats. We're not saying no, but we don't want you with a 12-ounce T-bone. That's just a bit too much. And
mhm.
again, it's an animal source. It has saturated fat, it has cholesterol. So what are you going to do with all this protein you've just eaten? And you're going to sit in front of the TV again? Like, you
Right,
have to assess the needs of your body.
right.
And so we don't want to overdo it, but we know that, skinless chicken breast,
Mm-hmm.
lean sirloin, lean
Right.
pork tenderloin, lean
Right.
ground beef, lean ground chicken, lean ground turkey. You can
Mm-hmm.
have those, and put that on a
Right.
whole grain bun. Get you your
Mm-hmm.
romaine lettuce, get you, a nice chipotle sauce, tomatoes, and enjoy with your oven baked fries. You can do
Mm-hmm.
it. You
Yeah,
can
that's
do
true.
it.
Yep.
And you don't have to load the chicken patty or turkey patty with a bunch of salt. You can use garlic powder,
Mm-hmm.
celery powder. You don't have to use the Maggi bouillon cubes. That is concentrated salt. That is
Mm-hmm.
not your blood pressure's friend. It's not.
Yep. It sure ain't. It
You
sure
put it
ain't.
in the meat, you put it in the rice, you put it in the vegetable, and now when you do eat something saltless, you're like, oh, they have no taste. Your taste
Right.
buds have too much salt. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah. Because once you start taking salt out of your diet, you start tasting salt in other food that you eat. You'd be like, oh, this is too salty. Because you stop eating salt. That's how I be feeling. I'll be like, man, I don't, this is salty. Like if I at somebody's house or whatever, or well, I don't eat everybody cooking. I'm just funny about my food. But
Understandable.
yeah, I don't eat everybody cooking. But when you stop eating salt, you start tasting salt in everything. That's just like sugar. If I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
person who I don't eat a lot of sweets.
Okay.
Now, if I drink a Pepsi, I could taste all the sugar in there,
Mm-hmm.
So I've been incorporating more water
Mm-hmm.
into my diet. So it's all about changing your eating habits and just your whole lifestyle, period. That's the way I look.
Mm-hmm. There are some herbs definitely that some people do live by. There are
Mm-hmm,
some herbs that people think and believe: cat's claw, garlic,
mm-hmm,
buchu, uh, breadfruit,
mm-hmm,
blonde psyllium,
mm-hmm,
lavender, basil, pomegranate, radishes, sesame seed,
mm-hmm.
bran, thyme,
Right.
ginger, green oats or regular oats,
Mm-hmm,
parsley, hibiscus,
mm-hmm.
horsetail tea,
Wait a minute.
valerian.
What was that again? Horsetail tea? What is that?
Uh-huh.
What is
It's a
horsetail
tea.
tea?
Listen, this is some things that, for the population that really is invested into, natural ways to lower
Mm,
the blood pressure.
right.
There's a lot of research about it. And
What?
it's not a secret. It's not a secret.
Right.
But you know, we do have people that drink it. It's a herbal remedy, traditionally used for many health promoting effects. It's been
Mm-hmm.
used to promote hair and skin and nail health.
Now, where could you
Um,
get the horsetail tea at? Because I've never heard of horsetail tea.
okay. You can get it off of Amazon. It
Okay.
grows in the Northern Europe area, the Central America.
Mm-hmm.
It's a plant. It has, healthy beneficial components, high in antioxidants and
Mm-hmm.
silica.
Okay.
And yes, and it is mostly common in the form of a tea. It's made by steeping the dried herbs into hot water. It's
Mm-hmm.
also available in a capsule and a tincture. Okay.
Okay.
So, people drink, you just said a Lipton, they drink horsetail tea, which supports
Mm.
bone health.
Right.
It's a natural diuretic. That's where you could, most high blood pressures have a water diuretic pill built into it.
Mm-hmm.
But horsetail tea is a natural diuretic. So it'll naturally have you to go to the bathroom, urinate, and get that extra fluid off your body.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my first time hearing about that. I never heard, like I said, I never heard of horsetail tea. I like,
Mm-hmm. You have valerian, catnip,
uh,
mojito, mint tea, all
right,
these natural herbs.
right.
People who are wise among us would take a tea like a catnip or take a horsetail tea versus, say, a Lipton that has like poor quality, tea
Yeah.
leaves.
I
You know what
don't,
I mean?
yeah, I don't think you get
Mm-hmm.
anything out of, I don't even drink Lipton tea. I just didn't feel like I was getting anything nutritional out of Lipton tea. So
Right.
I do like a regular green tea. Uh,
Right. You could do a green tea, but there are better teas on the market, like I had previously mentioned, that will naturally get the natural fluids off you naturally, and you're going to go exercise. You're going to get the natural salt out of your body, and you're eating fruits and vegetables, so you're going to be going to the bathroom and keeping your weight down, and you're going to be drinking adequate water, so you're going to regulate and hydrate all your systems in your body, and then you're going to get rest and reset your whole system while you're sleeping. So it is a holistic song and dance. It really is.
Right. Yeah. Wow. It's just, yeah, we just gotta, like you said, we gotta change our whole lifestyle and start eating properly and taking care of ourselves if we want to be around to see our grandchildren grow up or and get married or be around for a long period of time. That's what I did. I just changed everything, my whole life. I cut out a lot of people. I cut out a lot of foods. I cut out
Understandable.
I just right now I'm not letting anything stress me out. Um, and I'm gonna start taking more vacations, just doing things to take care of myself, you know?
And I commend you for that because, as
Yeah.
many times as we're ambitious and we want to, fulfill some goals, some, bucket list goals or just
Mm-hmm.
vision board goals, health is like, it's something that's a priority if it's a problem. And we
Mm-hmm.
really, really are doing these different topics on
Mm.
disease and holistic intervention and prevention because we want everyone to understand health is wealth. Whatever
That's
part
right.
you are going to decide you're going to do better, that we'll take it because we understand healthcare is very expensive.
Yeah.
Medication is expensive. Getting a
Yep.
surgery is expensive.
Yeah.
Recuperating from a surgery is expensive. And if we could just change some of the lifestyle habits or what we
Mm-hmm.
mentioned in this show,
Right.
and our children see it, we've already taken care of our generation, and
Right.
we reach down to the second, third, fourth, and the fifth generation because they're going to do what they see.
Yeah. They're gonna emulate what they see. You're right.
Mhm.
They gonna
Mhm.
emulate everything that they see. And see, that's the
Mhm.
thing. That's the thing about the bad habits that we have become accustomed to is they
Mhm.
come from our parents, their parents,
Mhm.
parents, their parents, parents. These habits,
Mhm.
these bad habits have been passed down, even when it
Mhm.
comes down to mental health. We weren't taught to talk about our feelings. We was always
Mhm.
taught to keep everything in the house. Don't talk about
Mhm.
nothing. Just keep going and not dealing with our emotional well-being. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's all about just keep going and keep going, but that's not healthy. And it's,
Mhm.
it's not healthy at all.
No.
So, one thing can lead to another.
Mhm.
Your mind affects your body. If your mind is not right, then you ain't gonna want to take care of your body,
But
you
it's
know?
also too, like you mentioned, children can get high blood pressure. I did work with pediatrics, and they had some very strained living conditions, and the parents really couldn't do better, and the children lived off high fat, high salt, high
Mhm.
cholesterol, fast food on a regular basis.
Right, right, exactly. So, that's the thing. We just got to start being careful of what we do and, taking care. Self-care is more important. Self-prevalation is more important than anything else, I think.
Agreed. Agreed.
Health is
Like
health is
like
wealth.
you said with the hydration. Now we have the water bottle, so you can get an 8 ounce, or you can get a 16 ounce, or you can even get a 20 ounce, or you can get a 32 ounce, or you can get a 64 ounce container of water and
Right.
take it with you all day. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
great. That's for the hydration. Okay, fine. But what about the fiber? Did you eat enough fiber for today? Okay, and what about the fruits and veggies and the nuts and the seeds? What
Mm-hmm.
does your grocery list look like, even on a budget? If I was to go and supervise your kitchen and go into your fridge, what am I going to find? All flavors of ice cream in the freezer instead of lean meats. What am I finding in the fridge? Am I going to find, you know, um, all kind of stuff that really you can do better with? So,
Mm-hmm.
it gets to you getting your cupboard and look inside your cupboard and say, you know what, this next grocery trip, I'm not buying that no more. Or
Mm-hmm.
you know what, this next grocery visit, I'm going to buy more of this and less of
Mm-hmm.
that, and
Mm-hmm.
introduce this to myself and my family. Because, you know, when you're not used to eating healthy, it is a slow introduction. You
It
can't
is.
expect overnight, you know, to throw away the Lorries and the celery salt and the garlic salt and the accent and the bouillon cubes because they're
Mm-hmm.
going to, you know, throw you out with the seasonings. So
That's
you got to
true.
slowly, you know, I'm gonna do one less and I'm not gonna be so heavy-handed. Or, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm gonna bake it in the oven or the air fryer this time and see if
Mm-hmm.
they notice, and then do use that as a teaching moment to explain to the spouse, the
Mm-hmm.
kids, you know, I know y'all like fried chicken. I don't want to take it from you, but I'm gonna do it in the oven or I'm gonna do
Mm-hmm.
it in the air fryer. I know you like your fries deep fried, but I'm gonna do those in the oven. And
Right.
we normally don't do vegetables. I ain't gonna go as high as Brussels sprouts, but we will try some green beans, not in the can. And that's
Right.
how we're going to change dinner moving forward. Like the small gradual changes.
Right.
You know, if the
Right.
kids want snacks, don't give them Takis. Give them a mandarin orange. If they want snacks, don't give them Doritos. Give them an apple. If they want
Yeah.
snacks, give them an apple, a banana, and a bottle of water. To let them see we want you to have the snack. We just
Mm-hmm.
don't want you to have high blood pressure when you become an adult.
Right, right. And then you
Mm-hmm.
got it, all things are good in moderation too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like for me, I don't really deprive myself. Like I what I've been doing is eating eating more healthier foods and then what I'll do is I'll take a day where I could just treat myself to anything, you know?
Because you have the discipline. But for
Yeah.
those who have not the discipline, we would say it sometimes has to be a cold turkey. I need you to
Mm-hmm.
go in the freezer. I need you to
Right.
throw away the cookie dough, the ice cream, the brownie
Mm-hmm.
mix,
Right.
the cinnamon roll mix. I need you to throw away the cakes and the cookies in the cupboard. And
Mm-hmm.
also that what you got in the trunk, I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even need you to come in the house. Just get out of the way.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the barriers. See, you have the barriers and discipline, but for the beginners, you know, it seems like a challenge sometimes because it's like, you want me to eat that? I ain't never
Mm-hmm.
broke on that. I don't know what
Right.
that is. I don't know how to do that. Okay, okay, no panic. Let's do
Mm-hmm.
baby steps.
Right.
Can you give me one less trip to Dunkin' Donuts? How about that? And when
Right.
you order, instead of the extra large coffee, can you give me a small cup?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start there.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
could do that. And I know you
Yeah.
order at lunch every day at lunch. So can you give me a Panera Bread order and not a Popeyes order? You know,
Right.
we want to work with it.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
what it is. It's all about, you know, doing things in moderation and taking, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, incorporating it little at a
The
time.
good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't want anyone to feel like they can't get it. They can get it
Right.
because they're doing it. They're buying food. They're just not
Mm-hmm.
buying the right foods. They're eating on a schedule, but they're just not eating the right foods on the schedule. And then
Right.
when we have the diagnosis, it's like, oh, because my mama had it. Well, hold
Mm-hmm.
on. Let's not do that. Let's not blame mama because you got paid and went to Popeyes every Friday all
Mm-hmm.
by yourself. Let's not
Right.
do that. You know, and in her time, she didn't have Popeyes. She had to actually cook it herself in her kitchen. And you
Mm-hmm.
know, you go out with your girls on Friday and you order the bar. Let's take accountability of that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
all that will affect your outcome. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, your mom did it too, but you created some of your own habits.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's true. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we just got to work on changing those bad habits, you know, a
Mm-hmm.
little bit at a time.
Little bit at a time, and then next thing
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's like, girl, we can go out and you can look at that menu and all what they're trying to sell you. You can say, you know what? Give me a Caesar salad. Give me
Mm-hmm.
some cranberry juice. I would like a piece of salmon on that Caesar salad. Matter of
Mm-hmm.
fact, double the salad. And then when you give me the mashed potatoes, give me half the serving. You could
Mm-hmm.
be able to navigate that thing.
Yep, you sure could. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you out on and eating out, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about choices. It's just, you
And
know,
knowing how to make the right choices
that's
because
true.
some restaurants still have healthy options on the menu. If they have
Mm-hmm.
a salad, you know what? Hold the dressing. Do you have a
Mm-hmm.
balsamic vinaigrette? I'll take
Mm-hmm.
that. And you
Right.
know what? You really want that full rack of ribs, but you know what I'm gonna take today? I'm gonna take that chicken breast. So
Right.
you know you're human, but you
Yeah.
also know if I make that right decision this one time,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? It'll make or break the difference of that doctor telling me it's a diagnosis I don't want to hear.
Exactly. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. Yep. And then on that note, I hope y'all got enough information on high blood pressure.
I hope so
Make sure
too.
y'all take care of yourself, and including me. When I say y'all, I'm saying me too. Because like I said, I'm still, working on making sure I keep incorporating the right foods in my diet more.
Good.
So I
Good job.
cut back on salt. I do use sea salt.
That's
Um,
fine.
and I've been going to the gym, so I'm
Like that.
just taking care of myself all the way around.
Awesome work.
And I'm cutting
Like
all
that.
the negative people out of my life. I don't want no negativity around me. I don't want no stress around me. If you
Right.
ain't bringing no good energy, don't come this way.
And you know one thing, Crystal, just to piggyback on what you said, the environment does play a role in how you receive and perceive yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone who's listening to this podcast is worthy of a positive change in their overall holistic life. Now you
Yep,
only get one body. So
that's
if
right.
today you decided, we'll applaud you. If you decide tomorrow, if you decide to start your new lifestyle intervention next week, we applaud you because we know
Mm-hmm.
that habits are hard to break, and we understand
Yeah.
hearing Crystal's testimony and being transparent with us. We
Mm-hmm.
know it's not easy. That's why we're going to keep bringing you these topics, different disease states before you. You
Right.
replay them, you get encouraged, and one day you go to the grocery store and say, you know what? I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
spend 30 minutes in the fruit and vegetable section. I'm gonna do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Every little bit helps.
Mm-hmm.
And Demetrius, thanks again for popping in again and sharing all
Mm-hmm.
that valuable information.
My
Uh,
pleasure.
yes, and make sure you guys like us, to subscribe to the channel. In order for me to keep bringing on guests like Demetrius, I need you to keep subscribing to the channel. It don't cost you nothing to subscribe. And I don't want you to just subscribe. I want you to watch the content. I want you to watch everything on here because everything that we bring to you is beneficial for you. So make sure you guys tune in each week, 7 o'clock. And Demetrius, thanks again for joining me again today and sharing all that lovely information to help us
You're
heal,
welcome. And my
heal,
pleasure.
and
And if
get
they
better.
happen to have any questions for me, they can email me, Dr. Dr. Demi, Demi Nordelus, Nordelus @gmail.com. DrDemiNordelus I
Mhm,
will help you guys if you need, extensive nutrition stuff for a bariatric surgery, whatever. I want us to be healthy in
mhm,
all levels. And I know it's hard to find a dietitian,
mhm,
maybe of color. And I know, the prices are $300-400 an hour. And
mhm,
you know what? For the sake of helping others, y'all email me.
mhm.
We're gonna keep at this. Crystal, thank you
Yeah,
so much for having me on again.
yeah, you're welcome. And your information will be down below at the end of this podcast. So, if you want to reach out to Demetrius, her contact information will be at the bottom of this video. So again, on that note, you guys have a blessed evening and thanks again, Demetrius. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Crystal. Be blessed.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye.